According to AC, a Twitter user identified at CallMeBoob, who shared the sad story of how her cousin walked out on his wife, who was his high school sweetheart and kids, to be with another woman. According to the Twitter user, the heartbroken wife had suggested the threesome in order to keep him from cheating. In the detailed narration, the man in question was known to be a serial cheat who had fathered 3 children with 3 other different women. The wife suggested the idea of inviting other women into their bedroom activities, and this eventually led to their separation as he left her to be with one of the women they had a threesome with. At CallMeBoob narrated the story on Twitter. "My cousin recently left his wife for the lady they've been having a threesome with since somebody asked. I'll go ahead, I'll tell the story. We'll call my cousin Tony for the sake of the story. His wife Bri and the threesome participant Jill. Now Tony is the dude that girl's mom warned them about. Always up to no damn good." So Tony and Bri's story start off in high school. They meet sophomore year. Tony loves white girls. Bri is white. He has always believed he can get white women Yoda what he wants. Whereas black women, they weren't really checking for him. Tony gets Bri pregnant within 4 months of them dating, but he's young, broke, and he definitely didn't want an actual relationship with Bri, so he denies the baby and cuts off all contact with Bri. He even drops out of school and moves across town. So fast forward a couple months, Bri makes Tony take a paternity test. He is the father, so he tells Bri that they should be together for the baby, but he tells us the family he just wants a piece of Bris checks and benefits. Should just got her first job. Tony starts cheating on Bri immediately with her co-workers who tell you her what's going on, however they don't show her actual proof, so she doesn't pay them any attention. In the midst of Tony cheating, he gets one of the co-workers pregnant. Bri is heartbroken, but she wants to stay together for their kid. Tony goes a step further and has 2 more children with 2 other women, so a total of 4 diff children from 4 diff women. Now Bri decides she needs to leave Tony alone, but not before she finds out she's pregnant too. Tony convinced her they should stay together so the kids can grow up in a 2-parent home, which was something Bri always wanted, so she stays. Fast forward about 3 years, Tony has never gotten a job, but he gets put onto a scheme floating around the city. Tony starts renting different items from places where you rent electronics and pay on them weekly. However, Tony is turning around and selling these items to people who don't know they're rented. After he had rented all he could, he convinces all of his BMs to rent as well. Tells them that if they rent these items as well, he'll give them a cut if the money, which sounds good because he doesn't do a damn thing for his children. So they're renting. Bri gets caught getting out of the car by Rent Queen, who tells her they're there to pick up the items she hasn't paid on in weeks. They threaten to get the police involved, and Bris never been in trouble, so she tells them everything. Of course, Rent Queen gets the authorities involved, so Tony is picked up by the cops about a week later. He decides to take all charges so the BMs can continue to take care of the children he knows he can't take care of. Somehow Tony only gets sentenced to 4 years in prison, just like every nigger that gets locked up. He's telling Bri sweet nothings the whole time, and he's locked up to keep money on his books. Promises her he's going to get out and finally do right and marry her, but as his family we knew this too was a lie. Fast forward to the year Tony's released, he actually marries the damn girl. She tells Tony he can have sex with whoever he wants as long as they do it together. Tony happy AF. This is every man's dream. So they start right away. At this point they're having threesomes every weekend with different girl that Tony brings home. This goes on for a while before Bri notices that Tony keeps bringing one girl back every other week and starts to get suspicious. Shay finds out that Tony has been sleeping with Jill alone quite often actually. Bri confronts him about it. He apologizes and says he'll stop with her and they'll just stick to their threesomes. BRI isn't into it like before, so she now has to get pissy drunk to participate. So now she's a drunk. After BRI has baby number 4, she can't get the weight off of her, and Tony is telling her that girls aren't going to want to fuck a fat girl, so she goes into depression knowing that this means he's just going to fuck them alone. Tony just can't get enough of Jill, who's the complete opposite at BRI. She's fit, no kids, has a great job, car and rich parents, so Tony knows he can't let her go. Tony decides he'll give Jill what she's been asking for. He's going to leave his wife. They spend about a month looking for a place for them to start their own thing. While in the midst of this, Jill gets hurt at work and is about to get broke off because she's never be able to 100% work again. Tony knows he hit the jackpot and needs to move fast. Tony tells Jill he can't wait any longer and he's ready to move in with her and start taking care of her since she's hurt. BRI comes home from work one day to an empty house. She thinks they've been robbed, so she calls Tony to tell him. Tony tells BRI that he's leaving her for Jill and how she let herself go and that the whole marriage isn't what he signed up for, and also tells her that he took the furniture with him since his mom was the one renting the furniture for them. So now BRI has 4 children, no husband and no furniture, while Tony and Jill move right outside of town in a nice-ass apartment, all new everything. Jill is even letting Tony drive her old BMW. Of all that, one of the BMs got an STD and he made her think she gave it to him when she confessed she was also sleeping with someone else. See the post below. Get the hottest gist on should a lady in a relationship have a backup boyfriend? Street Gist Nigeria, TV source.